Video Part 6. Hi, Assalamualaikum. This is Evi Sayono. Today on March 3rd, 2026 at 6:41 a.m. in the morning, I will continue my reading of a book entitled Teaching English as a Second or Foreign Language, 4th edition. Authors Marianne Celce-Murcia, Donna M. Brinton, Marguerite N. Snow. This book is published by Hindley, Cengage Learning, National Geographic Learning, a part of Cengage Learning, Boston, 2014. Today, I will still be reading Unit 1, Foundation of Methodology, Chapter 1, an overview of language teaching methods and approaches. Marianne Celce-Murcia. Subchapter: More Recent Approaches to Language Teaching. Page 8, Column 2, Paragraph 2. The Communicative Approach. This approach is an outgrowth of the work of anthropological linguists in the United States. Example given: Himes, 1971, and Firthian linguists in Britain. In brackets, example given: Firth, 1957, Halliday, 1973, 1978, all of whom view language as a meaning-based system for communication. See Duff, this volume, for an extended discussion. Now, serving as an umbrella term for a number of designs and procedures, in brackets, to use Richards and Rogers terminology. The communicative approach includes task-based language teaching and project work, content-based and immersion instruction, and cooperative learning, in brackets, Kagan, 1994, among other instructional frameworks. See also chapters by Noonan and Snow. This volume. Some of the salient features and manifestations of the communication approach are: Bullet point 1. It is assumed that the goal of language teaching is the learner's ability to communicate in the target language. Bullet point number 2. It is assumed that the content of a language course will include semantic notions and social functions, and that they are as important as linguistic structures. Bullet point number 3. In some cases, the content is academic or job-related material, which becomes the course focus with language learning as a simultaneous concern. Bullet point 4. Students regularly work in groups or pairs to transfer and negotiate meaning in situations in which one person has information that the others lack. Bullet point 5. Students often engage in role play or dramatization to adjust their use of the target language to different social contexts. Bullet point 6. Classroom materials and activities often consist of authentic tasks and projects presented and practiced using segments of pre-existing meaningful discourse, not materials primarily constructed for pedagogical purposes. Bullet points 7. Skills are integrated from the beginning. A given activity might involve reading, speaking, listening, and also writing. In brackets, this assumes the learners are educated and literate. Page 9, Column 1, Paragraph 2, in brackets, under Table 1. Bullet point 8. The teacher's role is primarily to facilitate communication and secondarily to correct errors. Bullet point 9. The teacher should be able to use the target language fluently and appropriately. Page 9, Column 1, Paragraph 1. Table 1. Central principles of 4 current approaches to language teaching. Approach 1. Cognitive approach. Central principle: language learning is rule-governed cognitive behavior, in brackets, not habit formation. Approach 2. Effective humanistic approach. Central principle: learning a foreign language is a process of self-realization and of relating to other people. Approach 3. Comprehension approach. Central principle: language acquisition occurs if and only if the learner receives and comprehends sufficient meaningful input. Approach 4. Communicative approach. Central principle: the purpose of language, in brackets, and thus the goal of language teaching and learning, is communication. Page 9, column 1, paragraph 3, under table 1. To sum up, we can see that certain features of several of the pre-20th century approaches arose in reaction to perceived inadequacies or impracticalities in an earlier approach or approaches. The more approaches developed in the 20th century and expanded in the early 21st century also do this to some extent. However, each one is based on a slightly different theory or view of how people learn or use second languages, and each has a central principle around which everything else revolves, as summarized in Table 1. Page 9, Column 1, Paragraph 4, under Table 1. Designer methods. In addition to the 4 approaches already discussed, several other methods proliferated in the 1970s and 1980s. These have been labeled designer methods by Noonan in brackets 1989b. These methods were rather specific in terms of the procedures and materials that the teacher, who typically required special training, was supposed to use. They were almost always developed and defined by one person. This person, in turn, trained practitioners who accepted the method as gospel and helped to spread the word. Several of these methods and their originators follow with brief descriptions. Page 9, Column 1, Paragraph 4. Silent Way, in brackets, Gattegno, 1976. Using an array of visuals, in brackets, example given, rods of different shapes and colors, and charts with words or color-coded sounds. The teacher gets students to practice and learn a new language while saying very little in the process. The method is inductive and only the target language is used. Page 9, Column 2, Paragraph 2, under Table 1. Community language learning, in brackets, Karen, 1976. Sitting in a circle and with the session being recorded, students decide what they want to say. The teacher, as counselor facilitator, then translates and gets learners to practice in the target language the material that was elicited. Later, at the board, the teacher goes over the words and structures the class is learning and provides explanations in the L1 as needed. Total physical response, in brackets, Asher, 1996. The teacher gives commands. Stand up, sit down, and so on, and shows learners how to demonstrate comprehension by doing the appropriate physical action as a response. New structures and vocabulary are introduced this way for an extended time. When learners are ready to speak, they begin to give each other commands. Only the target language is used.